All right, you guys, this is part 2 for unit 3. We're still doing y equals mx plus b. We practiced with all the formulas and stuff on the earlier video, so now we're actually going to graph them. And I remember you really doing a great job with all of these graphs, but I want to point out a few things before I go right into graphing. This number that you start on is the y-intercept, and this is the y-axis, this one. So your first dot that you're always going to graph starts on this number, which happens to be -3. I'm going to put a dot right there. Do not put your first dot on the x-axis, which is this one. The y is this one, so it should always be on this vertical axis. Okay, the other thing I need you to remember is that this is the slope. I like to make the negative sign go with the top number, so that means down to right 5. Okay, so I'm going to count down 2 and right 5, so that gets me a dot right there. You can also go up 2 and left 5. Like if you were running out of room on the graph, you could go up and left, or you could go down and right. It all is connected by the same number. Okay, it's kind of hard on the iPad to draw a nice, flat, perfectly beautiful line and get them all to match up, but there we go. That is our equation of our line. So what if for number 9 it doesn't look like this? That means we're going to have to rearrange stuff to get y by itself. Okay, this is called slope-intercept form. This is actually called standard form, fun fact. But what I want to do is get the y by itself. So maybe first I should subtract the 3x over because it is positive. That means I need to subtract it. So I get -6y. Don't lose this negative sign. It's still there. Equals, and this is a whole number and this is an x, so I can't combine those. So I just have to write both of them. I'm going to write -3x minus 18. You cannot combine those together. This has an x. This has a whole number. So they're not like terms. But next what I'm going to do is divide both sides by -6. Everything gets divided by -6. So I'm going to cancel that. And I'm going to write y equals -3 divided by -6. So those negatives cancel. And 3 over 6 is 1 over 2. It reduces. Keep the x with it. And -18 divided by -6, again, the negatives cancel and you just get positive. 18 divided by 6 is 3. This is how I'm going to graph that equation. This is what it looks like. So if you remember, this is the number that you start on the y-axis. So your first dot, always on the y-axis, goes right there. And this slope, which happens to be 1/2, that means up 1 because it's +1 and right 2 because it's +2. So up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. You could also go down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. If you were running out of room on the graph, you can go the other direction also. There's our line. Did a better job on that one. That's what it looks like. Okay, what about for all of these shading things? Lots of things to think of on this, but luckily this equation has the y by itself, so I know I can start right away on -4, and I'm always starting on my y-axis. So here's -4, using all different colors on this video, apparently. Let's see, the x, you can put a 1 with it if it helps you. It's 1x. And that means up 1 and right 2 because both of those numbers are positive. So I'm going to do that. Up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Could also go down 1, left 2. There's my line. Here's something interesting. Do you remember that since it's not greater than or equal to, that means that I need a dotted line? If it has the equal bar underneath it like this, then it would be a solid line. So that might be able to, multiple choice wise, like help you eliminate some wrong answers. That should be a dotted line. Remember the difference between dotted and solid. Be watching for that when you're looking through multiple choice answers, okay? And then which way am I supposed to shade? Wait, why didn't we shade for the previous two? These both had equal signs. So when there's an equal sign, no shading. That's because there's an equal sign. When you have these inequalities, greater than, or less than, that means you have to shade. So these ones we're going to shade on. Okay. All right, greater, it's pointing to the right. Right means up. I'm shading this way. You're going to have to look really closely at those multiple choice answers, okay? How about number 11, very last one? This first one doesn't have y by itself, so I have to make it have y by itself. So I'm going to start by doing this, just like I did on number 9 above. Don't lose this negative sign right here. It's still negative 4y. I cannot combine these numbers. This is an x, this is a whole number, so I'm going to write negative 3x positive 12. Divide negative 4, divide negative 4, divide negative 4. Remember, when you divide by a negative, this sign will flip. We've seen that several times if you've watched all of my review videos. So y is less than negative 3 divided by negative 4. The negatives cancel. Again, 3/4 x. And positive 12 divided by negative 4 gives you negative 3. So this line, I can start on negative 3. That's my first dot. And I'm going to go up 3 over 4. Up 3 over 4. You can also go down 3, left 4. If I have counted right, I believe it's there. And do you know if it's dotted or solid? It does not have the equal bar like this. So it's again going to be dotted. Let's talk about shading for a second. This means left. Left is towards the negative number. Look at all these negative numbers that are to the left. Negative means down. Okay, so think about shading underneath. Down is this direction. Now let me do this other one in a different color so it stands out. Oh, X, V, U, X. That's awesome. It's a vertical line that goes through X equals 5. Great. Okay, so on the X-axis, because it says X, this is the X. Put a dot at 5. There it is. And this is going to be a vertical line, so it looks like this. Love it. And that's because it's X and it's Vux. Okay, and shading. It's pointing right. I guess I'm supposed to shade right. And did I do dotted or solid? Did I forget that? Oh, this has the equal bar, so it's supposed to be solid, so that's good. And remember the answer, the really, really dark part of the shaded area is the part that's shaded by black and blue. So I believe that is this section right here. The black and the blue overlap for both of those. A lot going on in that one. That's your crash course on graphing, guys.